Hello and welcome to People in Perspective. I'm Mariella Hutar. Joining me today is my guest, Rachael Schoenhardt. She's a high school teacher at Riverside Brookfield. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming. So let's get started. One of the first questions I wanted to ask you was, what was your education before becoming a teacher?
Sure. So I graduated at Hinsdale South in 2015. From there, I went on to do 2 years at the University of Mississippi with leading up to a bachelor's with history education. But I decided I was a little homesick, so I did transfer, but with still the same track in mind to complete my degree in history education. So I went to Illinois State University for the last 2 years. I was thankful to still graduate on time. And I kind of knew going to Illinois State, they're kind of known for their education program. So I kind of had the idea that I'd probably stay in Illinois after that.
Yeah, so what made you choose to work at RB?
So, funny story. My mom taught here from 1990 to 2000 and loved it. She only took some time off to raise my siblings and I, and so kind of having that idea in mind that she always liked it here, and as soon as I knew I wanted to be a high school teacher, I always thought, okay, one day that's going to be my goal, is to teach here. And I lucked out. It was a lot sooner than I thought. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to teach at RB.
Well, it's nice that you get to work at a place that your mom got to work
Know,
too.
so cute.
So how long have you been working at RB?
Sure. So I'm on my 4th year. So I started here in 2019. So I graduated college in May, and I got this job, and I started in August. So it was a quick little turnaround.
Yeah, that's nice. So what classes do you teach here?
Sure. Right now, I teach world history and consumer economics. That's changed a little bit over the years. I've taught both of those since I started, but I've also taught government and U.S. history. But I'm super, super happy with what I teach right now, to be completely honest. Very happy with my schedule.
As me in your history class,
Yes.
I gotta say I love the class. It's very fun. It's a nice environment. So if I was a student in your classroom, which I am, what is your way of teaching? How would your classroom look like?
Sure. So I think one thing that I really try to focus on at first, right, at the beginning of the year, is just creating those social connections with you all, with the students, right? I think that is like the primary goal, is just to get students feeling comfortable within the class. And then after that, that's where I kind of weave content. So I think I try to change it up. I hope you see that, right? Where sometimes it's maybe a little bit more teacher-led, but ultimately more student-driven.
Yeah.
Where once you're given the confidence and the skills, then you go ahead and take that time to read, do the lessons, work with your friends, stuff like that. So I try to switch it up. I'd say student-driven, but with a little bit of variety.
Yeah, that's really nice. So what is your favorite thing about teaching?
Ooh, the students. I love it. I like the connections. I find it fun. I have to admit, when people ask, do I like my job, I say I love it. I don't dread coming into work. I enjoy seeing students' smiling faces. As long as they talk to me, I have a great time. So I genuinely have to say it's the students. And honestly, the coworkers too. We have a blast. We collaborate, which I think is a really big piece in teaching. So if someone was, interested in this career, I'd say as long as you're a people person, right, you have to be. But also collaboration. That's going to be a big piece, and only just kind of improving on your skill as a teacher and continuing and wanting to do better for the students.
Yeah. So you've been here for 4 years, right? What was your experience at RB? How has it been so far?
It's been great. Like I said, I lucked out from the start. I was grateful to get this opportunity to start teaching, quite young. I was 22 when I started here, so it's been great. The first year was a little tricky. It was exhausting. You're kind of figuring it out, and then the pandemic hit. So it's been very different, but I think this year has been really great, new normal again. So I've been really enjoying that.
Well, that's awesome. So I have a question.
Yes.
So is there any extracurriculars that you teach, or are you involved in any coaching sports or clubs?
Yeah, so I'm a sponsor for a few. I'm a sponsor of the sophomore class officers, so we help raise funds, which has been fun. So if you've seen the Crumble Cookie fundraisers, appreciate everybody chipping in for that. That's been one of our things, so I'm excited to see how much we've raised to hopefully help them out in a few years for their prom. Additionally, I'm a part of Helping Paws. I'm a sponsor with Mr. Robbins, who's in the math department, and that's a volunteer group. That's one that I really try to encourage students to join. What I love about that club is that it's flexible. You can join other clubs. We're not going to kick you out if you can't make every event, but you feel good. You help out the community. We help out at the Brookfield Food Pantry. We help out at the Hebspa Home in Oak Park, and we also help out with the Humane Society. So we help out humans and animals, so it's kind of a great little blend. So stay tuned. We have some really cool opportunities coming up in the future. And then I'm also an assistant track coach, which I'm happy that you have joined.
I'm excited to join that class. Or that sport. So, what do you like? What's an assistant coach? What do you coach?
Sure. So I want to give a big thanks to Mr. Robbins, because he let me kind of poach Helping Paws. When I started out, I really wanted to be involved in something, and I thought that club was great. But then he also not only helped me out with that club, but then let me be a part of track, which has been really wonderful. I was a cheer coach for a year, which was great. But once I made the transition to track, I've been really having a blast. The athletes are fun, they want to do better, and it's been really great. I never thought I'd be a high jump, coach. I mean, that's been a blast, and the season's been fun. This is my 3rd year doing that, and I'm looking really forward to the outdoor season. I know we've been, preparing indoor right now with a few meets, so I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone has to offer and how, well we do.
Yeah, that's great. I personally love track. I'm really happy that I'm in it, and I think it's a really good sport. So did you used to run track in high school, or?
Sure, I did it for a little bit with cheer as well. And I think that's why I like being a coach so much, is seeing the potential that athletes have. And I want to tell them to continue, even though sometimes, homework maybe seems a little bit, a lot, right? But I just tell them to keep doing the sport, because you know what? Prioritizing, you end up doing better. And I think looking back on that, I noticed when I was an athlete, I did so much better in my grades because I just had to prioritize the time that I had. But yes, I did do track and I did do cheerleading as well in high school, so it's fun. But I wish I could go back and do it again. Maybe try hurdles. I don't know why I didn't do hurdles.
Hurdles are fun, I agree. Well, thank you so much for joining. It was a pleasure having you, and I hope you had a wonderful time on the set. And that has been People in Perspective. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mariella Hutar.